Hey, what's up, everybody? STEM Nation. I know, another video. I got all these videos coming up and coming out. So today I'm going to talk about my second favorite warband to play, the Bretonnian warband. Now, the Britonians compared to the Skaven are actually a little bit more expensive. You're looking at, to start, you're looking at 80 gold crowns just for the questing knight, that the main hero, your leader. Then you're looking at 50. Then your next expensive is 50 your knights errant, and then your squires are like 15 apiece. But your second guys, your men at arms and your bowmen, that's 25 gold crowns for your men at arms, which is your basic foot soldiers, and your bowmen at 20 gold crown. So they're extremely expensive. One of the more expensive warbands that I've seen in Mordheim. To play. So I mean, you get 500 crowns, so you're looking at so one of the thing is like so one of the things is squires, they're the cheapest, but they count as heroes, and I think that's part of the problem with the Bretonnian, is that they shouldn't be heroes. They should be like regular footmen, but they're not. They count as heroes, and they're the cheapest unit in the game, and you can only get 3 of them. You get 1 for each, so you get your questing knight, your knight errants, and your squires, right? You get 6 heroes. You get 1 knight, 2 knight errants, and your 3 squires. So it says right here that your warband may include up to 3. You may not have more squires in the warband than you have knights. So if you have 3 knights, you can have 3 squires. So that's 6 guys right there, right off the bat. And your squires are your run-of-the-mill, they're Britonians. They're your run-of-the-mill guys. They're squires. They're toughness. They're 4 movement, so they don't move very fast. I mean, none of the Britonians do. They're all pretty much movement 4. They're okay with. Squires are a 2 weapon skill, 2 ballistic skill, so they're not very good. But they got 3 toughness, 3 strength. So they might not be able to hit good, because they're gonna hit on 5s and 6s most of the time. But especially with shooting, and then that gets minus down however much. So they're not good at shooting or hitting. They're better at that hand-to-hand combat, because, like I said, you're hitting on a 5 or 6 to hit for the most part until it gets bigger and stuff like that. But they do get skill. They do get skills, and you can up their skills and stuff like that. So it's not bad to whatever. They also have 3 initiatives, so they're always going to go last, regardless of who they fight. Okay, so why do I like the Britonians as my second one? Warband that I like playing, because of the special rule of basically, if you just shoot at any of them, you have to roll a d6. So anybody shooting a black powdered weapon, so like your pistols, your rifles, your warp pistols, if you're Skaven, you have to roll 4+ to overcome a curse. To overcome, it's basically a leadership test of a 4+, and you have to pass that test. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to hit the knight. So that's for your knight errant, and your questing knight and your knight errant on a 4+ d6. So that basically, most of the things you're going to encounter are crossbows and sorry. Most of the things that you're going to come across in Mordheim are your crossbows and longbows and different bows. But for like the dwarf pirates, the Mirenbergs, or Midhammers, the Emperor guys, they usually have black powdered weapons. Some mercenaries or hired swords, they have black powder pistols. Like I said, Skaven, they have the warp lightning or warp pistols. So, you know, you will encounter it, and there's also a pirate faction or something like that. I can't remember, but I have faced black powdered weapons, and it has come up and it has done some good for my guys. So another good thing about the questing knight is that he'll never panic and break from combat, and so does not have to pass leadership tests for being alone. So if he's by himself getting jumped by three enemy, he's gonna stand and fight. He's got a 4 weapon skill and a 4 ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 3. So he's gonna be a heavy hitting kind of guy. Yeah, some of the armor is like you can buy him a horse, a lance. The war horse is like 80 gold crowns. So with my experience, I've only seen one of our friends who plays the game with us use a horse once, and I think it was the most you're talking about 80 gold crown for a horse. Maybe just a regular horse is probably cheaper, but it's not really worth it because you're going to be, you have to get up into buildings and stuff like that sometimes to get warp stone or treasure and stuff like that. So it's not really, unless you're playing on a huge board, like an 8x12, board, a horse isn't really necessary, and it's kind of a waste of money, especially for 80 gold crown. And if you get barding, which is armor for your horse, that's another 30 gold crowns. So you're looking at like 110 gold crowns just for a horse on top of your 80 gold for a knight. And you have to give him you can give him a lance for 20. That's what 90. It's almost half your gold crowns just for one guy. So horse and barding ain't really worth it to have in Mordheim, because for the Britonian, because they're so expensive, you're not going to field a large force. You're looking at, like I said, 6 heroes, and we'll do the math here in a second. So yeah. So some of the, I've forgotten this Skaven video of some of the skills you want to take before fix it. But then they got their own special like skills and stuff like that. Like Virtue of Purity. So only the knights can take these. The squires can't, which I think is kind of like crappy. Or no, it's only the questing knight that can take them, which I think kind of sucks because I think the knights errant should also be allowed to take them. So yeah, like Virtue of Purity, the knight's sole purpose, whatever, he gets any spell cast against the knight will be dispelled on a d6 roll of 4+. So that's really useful, especially if you're facing like Chaos, Skaven, or pretty much anything. I think except for like Witch Hunters and stuff like that. But something with more devastating magic, like Undead, the Chaos Cult and the Skavens, stuff like that. Yeah, then you got the Virtue of Valor. The knight has vowed to confront the biggest and strongest foes. The more awesome his enemy, the more valorous his effort is. If fighting a model with a higher strength character than him, the knight may re-roll any failed to hit rolls in hand-to-hand combat. So this stuff is for like your rat ogre, you know, your bigger creatures and stuff like that, your vampires and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Virtue of Discipline. Chivalric Code maintains self-control in the face of complete confidence whenever odds once per game if the knight is not out of action, stunned or knocked down, you may re-roll failed route tests. Now this one isn't good because sometimes you just want that route. You don't want to stay and continue to fight, especially with the Britonians because they are so expensive. The chances of you losing one of your heroes, you know, when you're knight errants or when you're your questing knight, the chances of you losing them actually goes up. So you want that route, or you want to be able to route so you don't lose your heroes. Like I said, they're pretty expensive for whatever, and you know, like I said, you only get maybe 6-7 guys. Your first or 6-8 guys, right? You might get 1 minute arms. Like I said, we'll do the math here in a second. So we're just going over that thing. Virtue Noble Disdain. The knight is subject to hatred of all enemies, armed with shooting weapons. See leadership and psychology tests. So that allows you to, I forgot what that does. I don't want to look familiar, but he gets hatred. It basically gives you an extra attack or an extra +1 to attack, or +1 to your roll, attacking somebody with a shooting weapon. That's any shooting weapon. So that's bows, slings, blowpipes, throwing stars, you name it. You know, shooting weapons. Virtue of Impetuous. The knight may add +3d inches to his move when charging. Roll the dice each time you wish to charge and before moving the model. So that's good if you want to get him in combat with, let's say if you have the Impetuous and the Valor, right? So you get your plus your rerolls to fail to hit on a rat ogre. So you want to get into there and you want to charge them and stuff like that. So that's what that's for, that kind of stuff. Or if you see you know, an enemy shooting and taking out, hurting your guys, you want to get to him quicker, right? So his 4 movement goes to a D3, so he could get, you know, a movement of 8, 9, 10, you know, 11 inches on his thing. All right, so first off, we're gonna start doing our thing. All right, 80 gold crowns off the top of your 500 because that's how much he costs. He's, you know, expensive. Sorry, I'm gonna touch it. Okay. And then you want 2 knights errants. So that's another 100 gold off the top. So you want 2 knights errant. Why? Because knight errants are weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, those 3. They're basically they also have knight's virtue right off the bat, which means they won't break in combat. But they're going to be your heavy hitting guys, right? So they're going to be they're going to be your heavy hitters, right? Then you got your squires, right? Then you're going to want 3 squires to fill in your hero slots, right? So that's 6 heroes. So that's 40 off the top, right? So far, you've spent It's 220 off of that 500. So you're left with 280. That's not even arming your guys yet. That's half of your gold crowns. All right. So this is how I do it. I always buy my guys first before arming them, because depending on how, because you, like I said, men at arms is 25 gold and your bowmen are 20 gold apiece, right? So that's 50. That's 50 gold for 2, and 40 gold for 2 bowmen. So you're looking at 90 gold for 2 henchmen, or 4 henchmen, right? The bowmen are a good thing. Bowmen are good to have for the Britonians, because you're going to be mostly a defensive. You're mostly going to be defensive. Stand there and take it kind of army. You're going to want them to come to you, because you're not fast. You're at 4 movement, so you're 8 running. So stuff like occupation, where you occupy one single building and stuff like that. You're pretty much, you're not going to be moving out singly. You're going to be moving as a group. It's not like Skaven where you can break them up into like 3 groups. You have your assassin adept, you have your you know what I mean. So you can break them up in 3 groups and have them run around. 20 divided by 3, however many guys you have, and you do that kind of thing. But Britonians are more central units, and you're going to be moving them together in basically one form. So a lot of the missions that you're going to be hurting on are like grabbing the warp stone, occupation, where you occupy certain amount of buildings. I mean, you can do it. It's possible. And once you start getting more gold crowns and you start buying more men at arms and stuff like that, and more bowmen. But if you lose, like like in our games, you're allowed to buy 1 hero back at half price and stuff like that. But you know what I mean. It's gonna get expensive if you start losing your main 2 heroes, your main 3 heroes, because replacing a Squire, like I said, it's 15 gold crowns, and they're the cheapest on there. So let's go 50. So let's go 50 for 1, or 50 for 2 men at arms, and then we'll go 40 for 2 bowmen. So you have 50. That's 90 gold crowns. 90. You got 190 gold crowns, right? So that's 1 questing knight, 2 errants, 3 squire, and 2 men at arms, and 2 bowmen. All right, that's 190 gold crowns. So now you got to outfit them. And I wouldn't go any further than this. Once you start getting more gold crowns, and you doing your searching, some people might just go with 1 questing knight, 1 knight errant, and however many men at arms and bowmen. But like I said, when you're doing your searching, you need those dice to search. So having 6 heroes, like I said, 3. You can lose more squires than you can your other 3 heroes. So, you can get 25 gold crowns in two missions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's not that hard, or a search and stuff like that. So, so when you're arming them, you might be tempted to go with heavy armor right off the bat, right? Heavy armor is 50 gold crowns. That's on your hero. Heavy armor is encumbered, or is cumbersome, right? So that means you have to move -1 off your movement. So instead of movement 4 running 8, and you can't run in heavy armor either. So you're moving at 6 a turn. Or yeah, you can run in heavy armor. So you're running at 6 a turn instead of 8 a turn. Because it's -1 to your movement. So your movement is 3. So you're moving at 3 every time, and your other guys are moving 4. So that's what I mean. You have to stay you have to kind of stay in a group, and you have to move as a group. So you do that. Light armor is 20. So that might be the cheapest route. The heavy armor gives 2+ to your armor, so you're saving on a 4+ instead of a 5 or 6+. And then you give them a shield. You're looking at like a 3+ armor save, or is it a 4+ armor save? I'm not sure. Instead of a 5 or 6. So I mean, having heavy armor is good, but it's also a drawback. I don't have my Britonian armor here. I don't know where any of my warband stuff is, but my Britonians, I usually do heavy armor right off the bat, and a shield and a sword. The sword is for the parrying, which is a huge plus. So you get the parry. If you miss the parry, you get to save your armor. So it's a 4+ armor save, because a shield gives you +6 or 6+ armor save. Leather armor gives you a 5+ armor save. So sword and shield is 5. You know what I mean? The math is whatever. So you get a 4+ armor save with that shield, shield will give you an edge one. So 3+ armor save is pretty freaking good. But to start, I would go with the light armor. I wouldn't, like I said, the heavy armor gives you a -1 to your movement. So light armor and a shield, that's 20, 25, and a sword, which is 5. Gold crown. So you're looking at 30 for your questing night. All right, so that's 160. So you got sword and shield. All right, your 2 errants. I would go. So the one thing about the knight errants is you can't get spears, which kind of sucks. So what I do is I don't do the double-handed, because that's cumbersome, and you can only fight with that one hand, or one weapon. So what I normally do is I would just give him a sword and shield also with light armor. So that's another 30 times 2. That's 60. So you're at like 60. Well, am I doing this right? Yeah. Okay. So that's 100 gold for light armor. And swords and shields. I didn't do that right. I don't think I did that right. Like I said, I don't have my my warband here that I normally could look over. But we'll just go with that. We won't do armor. We'll just do the sword and shield. So no armor for the knights errants, even though they're 50 gold crowns a piece, and you want to give them a little bit of armor. The sword, the shield, the sword will give you a parry. The shield, whatever. We'll whatever come back around to armor and stuff like that when we do the men at arms and stuff like that. So the squires, I like to be cheap with them. A hammer is 3 gold, counts as like a club. I don't like doing so so you can do that. An axe, you know, that's 5 gold crown. They're, like I said, they're crabby little fighters. They're 15 piece, but you know, you don't want to go right to like a sword and shield for 3 of them. That's not really their thing, until they get, you know, their weapon skill and ballistic skills up and stuff like that, and their toughness and stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, you want to arm them as cheaply as you can. It's like I said, they're 15 a piece, gold crowns a piece, so they're cheap to the whatever. So what I like to do is, you know, give them like a hammer and, you know, or a hammer and a dagger, or a sword and a dagger, or, you know, sword and shield. So that's like 10. I mean, they get a dagger for free, right? So that's 3 daggers. You don't really have to do much with that. You just dagger, or, you know, a hammer will help with stunning. Hammer's a 3. It's like basically a club, or a mace. But you know, you can outfit them however you want them. Some people like to bunch their stuff together and just give them all, because you can do that on here. You all on right name, number, type, and stuff like that. You can put however many you can put your, well, that's constant henchman and stuff like that. But, you know, so, you know, I like to just basically give them what. So we'll ignore them, because like I said, they're 15 piece, and we'll move on to our men-at-arms and bowmen. So my men-at-arms, I like to give sword, spear, and shields. The reason, so the spear and shield, the reason why I do that is so they can get that first attack with the spear. The shield gives them an armor save, but having that spear allows them to attack first, because like I said, the initiative for men-at-arms is 3. So you're always going to be attacking last in combat during the exchanges, right? So like if it's your turn in close combat, you're attacking last. It doesn't matter if it's your opponent's turn or your turn, you're always attacking last, unless you're charging, and then you're attacking first. So I like to have the sword and shield combo to give them that extra. And down the line, I actually like to give oh, excuse me, sorry about that. I like to do a halberd and shield. A halberd, you still get to attack first, but it has reach, I think. I'd have to look. But yeah, down the line, I usually switch out spears for halberds and stuff like that. But when you're starting out, that sword and spear, or sword and shield, or the spear and shield is, you know, really freaking good. So that you're looking at 15, or you're looking at, 10. So that's 20, right? 20 for, because they're 5 for a shield and 5 for a spear. So that's really cheap, but, you know, and they also got their daggers too. So, you know, you can always do a dagger attack and stuff like that. So, sword, or no, spear and shield, spear, shield. Like I said, as the game progresses in the campaigns or whatever you're playing, sorry, you know, things are going to get injured, stats are going to go up, people are going to get promoted, you know, die, you're going to lose people. So your gear is going to be changing left and right to fit your heroes or your guys' needs as it goes on. So your bowman, so you're looking at 80 gold after your 20 for the spear and shield for your men-at-arms. You got 80 gold crowns left. Your bowman. So your bowman, longbows gives you more reach. But starting off, you just want to go with a regular bow. You can get longbows down the line. Like I said, it's 15 gold crowns. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but just having that basic bow is more than good. So you get 20 for that. So bows. Once you get more gold crowns and stuff like that, you're gonna want to buy your longbows to give them that extra reach or whatever on there. So that's 60. Okay, and you're gonna want them to have some form of protection. Give them swords because you want that parry for them. So that's another 10 swords. 10. So that's 50. So you're at 50 gold crown now. So you go back to your 3 squires. Your shields are 10. That's 15 right off the bat for your shields. So you can, it says it's 15. So that's 35. If you want to, you can give all 3 of them spears. That would probably be the best option for them, unless you want to armor. So look at 30. You got 2 men at arms. 2 men at arms with armor or 2 knight errants with armor is 20 gold piece. But honestly, I usually give my guys the buckler and swords, or a buckler and sword, or just a sword and dagger, or you know what I mean. I don't really put too much money into them, but I haven't done many campaigns with. I haven't gotten far with the Britonians and campaigns and stuff like that. I always end up towards the end there. I get farther along with the Skaven than I do with the Britonians because they're so expensive. But having those spears at first attack, especially with weapon skill as they are, and their their toughness isn't too bad, but the weapon skill of 2, having that first attack is good. So you want to give them 3 spears. So that's another 30 off that. So you end up with 5 gold crowns in the end. That 5 gold crowns, you can give. You're basically looking at that. You're looking at 2. You're gonna say, and I suggest you put those in. Put that 5 gold crowns and hold it in your treasury because it's already looking. It's already expensive as it is. So skills is, when you're doing your skills and stuff like that, it's suggestive. Like I said in the book here, there are different skills and stuff like that for, shooting and, sword play and stuff like that. But when you're rolling your skills and you get to pick your skills, Virtue of Purity, your charging one, and your Valor and your Hatred one are good ones to pick up, especially that Purity one, which allows you to D6 roll of a 4 to stop any casting on that goes against him. Because there is, in the Chaos one, there is one where they can basically take control of your hero, so you're gonna want that that skill. But for the Bretonian, you basically want a lot of not for your bowmen can't get skills until they become heroes, but for the most part, for your heroes, unless they get more ballistic skills, like your Squires get more ballistic skill than one, you're going to want to do more of the sword fighting or melee combat oriented skills, because that's what they're for, more for. You know what I mean? You're also going to want to not spend so much time and gold crowns at the start of your thing. You want to put them into more men at arms and bowmen than your knights, because this will allow you to save up gold just in case or gold crowns just in case you lose one of your errants or your questing knight, because 80 gold crowns is extremely expensive to pay for a hero, or even at 50 gold crowns for an errant. Like I said, squires are 15 apiece, so you could lose them, and they're easy to get back. But you want to protect your guys as much as possible. So putting money into your bowmen and your men at arms, kind of a shield wall kind of thing, is very beneficial in cost saving. But that's just how I view the Britonians and how I've played the Britonians. So if you have other ideas on how to do it, like I said, they're extremely expensive. Like I said, you get 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, compared to some other warbands and stuff like that. Well, 10 guys ain't too bad, but you can always get 12 with Skaven, or even more with Skaven, depending on how you armor them and do all that stuff. So, but yeah, this has been Damnation, and thanks for watching.